Good day. We are the first group and we are here to discuss about the commercial complex study that we, the proponents, prepare. So the study has four major parts, which are the problem and its setting, the review of related literature or case studies, the site, and last is the architectural space programming. Since the study was long enough to discuss one by one, we divided and summarized the study based on 5 easy steps. Here it goes. Setting up goals, stating the facts, integrating the concepts, identifying the needs, and stating the problems. So before we proceed to our discussion proper, just a quick glance on our project proposal. So our project entitled Project Reborn, a commercial complex in Barangay Carmen, Silang Cavite, which means recalibrating design approach of the present, boosting the economy for the future through regenerative and adaptive architecture in accordance with nature. So, as we move forward later on in our discussions, you will understand or you will know what are the considerations that is need to consider in planning and designing a commercial complex. So by stating the problems, by identifying the problems, what are the possible solutions or compatible solution for the project, and how does it affect the goals, the concepts, and the needs of the users. So without further ado, let's get started our discussion.
The two most important considerations in our project are users and environment, followed by the main building and economy. We want to give users most of experience filled with joy and excitement, meaning we prioritize the psychological and mental impact of the building to the users. We also want users to experience something new, something not common in shopping malls, the impression of uniqueness with respect to the environment. Speaking of environment, we want to incorporate nature and greenery to the development, wherein nature and structure can act as one. So as quoted, architecture evolves and revolves around the ecosystem. So also, part of our goal is ano ba yung maibibigay ni building sa users. So dito pumapasok yung needs and demands nila. So next is about building itself. Our target is to use, of course, sustainable and locally available materials, since we want regenerative architecture. The use of passive cooling and proper ventilation will also be incorporated with respect to our building codes, para safe and convenient pa rin ang ating shopping malls. Next is to provide proper space planning of stalls and workflow of the department therein.
In the present situation, shopping malls were all affected by the decrease of volume of consumers and slowing the income or return of investments for every stalls. Therefore, shopping centers are taking different design approach to gain faster than the economic loss and effect of competition as well. Commercial complexes 2 or more commercial uses, whether on one lot under one ownership or on several adjacent lots under separate ownership, which are dependent on one another to meet minimum standards for parking, vehicular circulation, or landscaping. The commercial complex has diverse space, excellent environment, and commercial consumption patterns to improve the enthusiasm of consumers in order to achieve greater economic efficiency.
We used Select City Walk Shopping Mall in New Delhi as one of our foreign studies. It has 21.85 hectares, building footprint with 9,290 square meters outdoor plaza, which is overlooking from the facade. So it is believed that the dome shape of the main building attracts the tourists and consumers, as well as the water feature, specifically the fountain. The good thing here in landscape is that they put seating spaces or seating areas, and also they provide spaces for advertisement visible enough for the consumers. It also has huge parking spaces located at the basement, which can accommodate 1,110 cars. However, due to hot climate or hot temperature in New Delhi, the main building is artificially ventilated. But then, to achieve pa rin ang energy efficient building, they put greeneries in almost all floors of the building.
Moving forward to our next foreign study, we have the Ala Moana Shopping Center located in Honolulu, Hawaii. It is a 4-star shopping center with over 500 retail stores, and this is the largest open air and shopping mall center in the world. This has a total retail floor area of 2,400,000 square feet, and it has been criticized by people and other professionals for its overbuilt appearance and hodgepodge architecture because of its numerous former owners, modifications, and expansion. So we chose this Ala Moana as part of our case study because Honolulu is a tropical country, and there are some features that like to incorporate to our proposed project commercial complex. So the concept of this shopping center is the sea. So it came from the name itself, Ala Moana, and the buildings designed are a Hawaiian culture and symbol. Even the designs that is seen are a Hawaiian culture. One of these is the Hawaiian actual kappa patterns on Ala Moana Shopping Center eaves. So shape may be normal shape for most of us, but every detail of the shopping complex undergo a lot of brainstorming on how they can integrate and structure with various Hawaiian culture.
So moving forward to our next foreign study, which is the Groove at Central World in Bangkok, Thailand. So quick background lang. So Central World is the complex itself, and the Groove is the extension of it. So Central World is a 550,000 square meters complex that offers restaurants, hotels, and offices that owned by Central Patana Group and expanded up to 830,000 square meter. So Central World Complex has 4 main anchors, and isa na nga dito yung The Groove that offers varieties of coffee shops, restaurants, and hangout places. So Central World Complex is located right in the heart of Chidlon, a place in Bangkok na kilala sa mga malls that sits in Lonchit Road, Bangkok's busiest retail thoroughfare na mayroong direct access sa kanilang train station, and there are 2 existing landmarks or shrines nearby. So with that information, designers came up with an idea. Since Bangkok has a population of over 15 million residents, a couple million of tourists, and 8 million registered vehicles passing by the complex. So they came up with an idea of prioritizing the pedestrians by providing a quality footpath, since ito yung nakikita nilang problema, yung lackness of walkways, pathways, and spaces for the users, knowing that the massive number of residents in Bangkok. So in short, a shopping street concept within a mall. The design of the project capitalizes on passive solution for integrated sustainability rather than the application of active mechanisms. One thing that this Groove makes more sustainable is that because of incorporating green spaces and landscapes where the existing trees aren't cut down, but all are kept in order to provide shades during hot summer days. So since the complex is composed of different anchors, the use of skywalk was also incorporated. So bakit namin napili itong Groove at Central World in Bangkok, Thailand? So we chose this complex kasi Philippines and Thailand ay hindi naman nagkakaiba or nagkakalayo when it comes sa climate. Both country are tropical, meaning having only 2 seasons, the dry and wet season, and warm all throughout the year. So hindi mahihirapan yung pag-adapt ng approach ng ginawa sa The Groove sa magiging project. So in planning, in general, climate is one great consideration in designing a building. Why? Because the approach should base accordingly to the climate existing on the site, and it should reflect to the design.
Moving on to one of the foreign case studies that we have, which is the Times Square Mall in Naya, Raipur, India. It focused mainly on the design that is for entire microurbanism, and its concept is based on emerging curve, which rises from the ground that showcases the aspirations of a development of a new city Naya Raipur. The analysis of the building is based on the sun orientation, so the rising and dynamic form of the mall places its highest point on the south. This building was imagined to be a design that has an image for environment, retail shops, and recreational spaces in connection to the people. The design approach of this building is the sustainability, where the basic design principles such as neutral shading and building orientation is applied to achieve a minimum energy consumption. This mall reflect upon unique way of life, setting new standards of design, constructions, and facilities that never seen before in the city, where the design redefines the modern lifestyle of community and has the capacity to have a positive approach of design to the social and environmental context.
Meanwhile, in local studies, we used the Ayala Greenbelt in Makati as one of our references. So it is a 9.2 hectare mixed-use complex. So when we say mixed-use, it comprises 3 or more uses into one structure such as residential, hotel, entertainment, and etc. So it has 5 sections, 2 enclosed areas and 2 open areas, and the Greenbelt 5. So Greenbelt 1 is a cinema and cultural entertainment. Greenbelt 2 is a high-end dining with apartment for rent. Greenbelt 3 is a lifestyle center that opens to park with water feature. Greenbelt 4 is a retail, and Greenbelt 5 is a luxurious fashion lifestyle. So about zoning naman. So kapansin-pansin na ang zoning ng Ayala ay hiwa-hiwalay, unlike sa zoning ng ibang malls kagaya ng SM na merged. For the purpose of makauli ang mga shoppers nang hindi nila namamalayan na malayo na yung kanilang nalalakad. Just because hindi nga merged ang zoning ni Ayala. So it is a design strategy for the shoppers na kapag napagod na sila kakauli, they'll take time to consume and buy something. So about ventilation, public areas are naturally ventilated, but individual stalls are air-conditioned. So about naman sa wide open areas, mapapansin natin na sobrang lawak ng parks and green spaces ni Ayala Malls. So ito ay nagbibigay ng relaxing ambience. So ang problema lang sa ganitong kind ng zoning ay mahirap i-navigate. But then, nagawa ng solution ni Ayala through making a navigation app na downloadable naman ng mga users.
Moving forward to the next local case study we conducted, which was the Robinson Maximilian Cebu, now then renamed as the Robinson Gallery Cebu, a local shopping mall located in Cebu City, Philippines, near the SMC side city Cebu. So this is a mixed-use complex and was developed by the Robinson's Land, owned by Mr. Johnny Pacongway. We choose this as one of our local case study because Robinson's Corporation is one of the biggest companies here in the Philippines that produces biggest mall, and Robinson Galleria Cebu has this total retail floor area of 1,700,000 square feet, which also includes a 4-story mall, BBPO towers, which were the business offices, residential condominiums, and hotels. So the concept of the Robinson Gallery Cebu is this Filipino ambience and Cebuana pride. With the concept, incorporated vernacular architecture and sustainable architecture. So the complex has one goal, and it is the sustainability. The corporation opts to set a green image for the location and a green architecture promotion for the upcoming structure. With this, they also incorporated natural light, ventilation through large openings, energy efficient lighting and air conditioning, and water conserving plumbing features and water recycling. They also incorporated landscapes areas for sustainable architecture.
So for our next local study, which is the SM Group, so siguro familiar na naman tayo sa Rags to Riches classic story ng tatang Henry C., which is the founder of SM. So it was started from an 11-year-old boy na nag-migrate from China dito sa Philippines way back World War II. So he started his venture into shoe business. So ito yung mas kilala natin na shoe mart, making the most efficient shoe businesses that time. So from that very humble beginning and as time passes by, Henry C became one of the wealthiest Filipino. So he built SM, SM Group, among the most respected businesses group, not just in the Philippines but also in Asia. So in terms of capitalization, it has also grown to become the biggest real estate development company in Southeast Asia. Moving forward to the design approach in SM Group. So SM malls totally have undergone a major transformation to cater to a new breed of shoppers. The sleek design, open spaces, and iconic edifices in the newest SM malls are attracting shoppers who have become more aware and appreciative of styles, fashion, and global trends. So SM malls designs differ according to what the problem or problems arose from the site. For example, the SM Marikina, knowing that the site is located near Marikina River, so expecting the worst case scenario or the possible problem that may arise in the site is yung pag-overflow ng Marikina River. So the mall was built on a 246 stilts and situated 20 meters away from the river center line. On the other hand, the SM Center Muntinlupa, so the site was located in between of two fault, the West Valley Fault, which can be compared to the given site in Barangay Carmen. So SM Center Muntinlupa enhanced to be more resilient, placing the commercial with a 5-meter buffer zone to minimize the impact of earthquake and the other disasters such as the rupturing of both sides of the fault. So other unique sustainable features of SM malls includes high windows above eye level that use natural light to illuminate company facilities, the use of LED and CFL light bulbs to reduce electricity consumption, environmentally and friendly materials and technology for all heating and cooling processes, water-efficient fixtures to reduce potable water consumption such as waterless urinals, faucet aerators, and prudently selected construction materials to minimize the impact of certain structure, promote healthier indoor environments, and enhance performance of all company facilities.
The commercial complex has diverse space, excellent environment, and commercial consumption patterns to improve the enthusiasm of consumers in order to achieve greater economic efficiency. The proposed site has a lot configuration which is irregular and which has a total lot area of 80,000 square meters that is located along the Cavite-Laguna Expressway or CALAX and Santa Rosa Tagaytay Road. And based on the land use plan of the municipality, the site is classified as Plan Unit Development Area. The development of a middle-class commercial complex in Barangay Carmen, Silang Cavite will serve as a node or a starting point to connect within the community for local or foreign developers to invest, helping the economic status of the said barangay and creating new business district for Silang Cavite. For the macro SWOT analysis, strengths in Silang Cavite include a site that is located 45 kilometers south of Metro Manila, so that it is ideal for tourists to visit the said area. It is accessible to proposed Cavite-Laguna Expressway. It has desirable climate, which is relatively cool and with wide open spaces for more land development, wherein it has the presence of power supply. Silang Cavite is becoming more urbanized, so it will be needing more spaces for residents and traffic congestions in the area may be evident. Silang Cavite has projected traffic congestion when not considered, can have air and noise pollution, and has possible threat from the fault line within the site. For micro SWOT analysis, the strength includes all utility systems. It is good for vegetation, especially the soon-to-open CALAX and SLEX. It is far from the central business district, but it has a good road network that adds to the municipal economy. The threat is the possibility of creating competition in between businesses.
So we prepared 3 proposed sites within the Silang Cavite, and among the 3 sites, ang Site 3 ang nag-gain ng highest points based on the site selection criteria. Ang Site 1 ay mayroong 60,000 square meters, Site 2 ay mayroong 48,500 square meters, ang Site 3 ay mayroong 88,797 square meters, and located along the Calax or Cavite-Laguna Expressway and Santa Rosa Tagaytay Road, na nagbibigay naman ng excellent easy access for public and private transportation. Suitable din siya for a commercial space that can provide good availability for essential utilities and also can adapt for future expansions. Location's proximity to the users is equal for all the communities surrounding the site, with a general plain topography and a pleasant surrounding that will attract the users and the investors.
So for our concept, just like what we said in our conceptual framework, that our design approach would be regenerative architecture, meaning the practice of engaging the natural world as the medium for and generator for the architecture. So this concept focuses on conservation and performance through focused reduction of environmental impacts of the building. So, I mentioned our project proposal before we start our discussion. So, balikan lang natin kung bakit naging ganon or why we came up with that project proposal. So, our project proposal entitled Project Reborn proposed commercial complex in Barangay Carmen, Silang Cavite, meaning recalibrating design approach of the present, boosting the economy for the future through regenerative and adaptive architecture in accordance with nature. So, bakit naging reborn yung aming naging project proposal? Though, isang reason kung bakit yun ang naging project proposal namin is it's because of the history of the community of the municipality of Silang. So, sinasabi ng Silang daw, syempre from the word silang, or yun kasi yung legend na pinagmulan ng name ng community. So, from the word silang, we came up with the proposal of why not incorporating or reborn. So, pag sinabing reborn, new life, so panibagong yugto or pwede natin sabihin na in another way, but in a better way then. So, we came up with this proposal na reborn kasi gusto namin ibahin kung paano yung approach ng mga commercial complex here in our country na more on mechanically ventilated, so walang natural ventilation, walang natural source of daylight. So with that regenerative architecture, we came up with the project proposal of reborn or yung new life na commercial complex here in our country.
Moving on to the needs of the community within the vicinity. So the existing community within the site must be the first to experience the benefits of the proposed commercial complex. And these changes are positive and can give a easier access to supplies provided basic needs. Nearer supplies will give the community an accessible market with a travel distance not less than an hour. And aside from that, it offers 8,000 assorted job opportunities to the people surrounding the site. Since the commercial complex is going to be built in the said site with the existing community, the project must abide from the policies and to maintain a peaceful community that is only possible through the give and take of the commercial complex and by the people living in the community. So moving forward to our materials, we come up to 5 major materials to use in our project commercial complex, and these are the grass grid, solar light for walkways, bamboo for decks, green roof for the main structure, and Lego blocks made of plastics, usually known as the eco bricks. So it is a method of applying concrete with hollow patterns, allowing the grass or other plant to grow So we decided to implement this feature to our parkings and also to our workplace. So we also want a solar light panel to save percent of the total energy cost of the proposed commercial complex to our workplace. And next one is the bamboo instead of using wood because it is more sustainable and budget budget friendly. Next one is the green roof. The green roof is natural solution to help reduce the environmental impacts of new and old buildings. And then moving on to the last material we decided to use is the eco brick. So it's made of plastic, and according to our research, there are two types on using this eco brick. The first one is the plastic bottles with compact plastic inside, and the next one is the Lego blocks, and these Lego blocks are made of concrete and small pieces of plastics.
For the needs, a building should develop design concepts that will define as the mall of the future, one that is sustainable, market inclusive, and with the potential to address social and environmental concerns. A strategic design for the quality of spaces is the innovative way of challenging established business or market assumptions that can turn them into viable entrepreneurial and design solutions. It is a form of mall enhancement such as the development that can be implemented. The main task of the market or business is to design and strategize the mall experience and customer journey through the development of functional proposition, tenancy mix strategy, and brand plotting. The design should be complementing what the customers want and what the customers aspire. The study focused on spaces for public circulation, building management area, anchors, administrative area, retail stalls, and movie theater. For the public circulation, the activity or event center has the largest approximate area among the spaces therein. And the space quality for activity or event center, atria, elevators, and lobby are all open in planning, lighted and mechanical, vented, and formal. For anchors, the department store has more approximate area than the supermarket itself, and both of these spaces have 30% of the circulation. In the administrative area, the spaces that has 15% circulation allowance are the archive room, security office, and toilet for both male and female. And the rest of the spaces are all 30% in circulation allowance. The largest space for administrative area is the accounting department, while the smallest is the toilet. The space quality for accounting department down to the operational department as well as the treasury department are all closed in planning, lighted and mechanical, vented, and very formal, while the toilet for both male and female are also closed in planning, lighted and natural, vented, but hygienic.
Moving on to the space programming of the retail stalls, and we have the ground floor, the second floor, and the third floor for spaces used by the staff, customer, and attendee with approximation area of 4,000 square meters with circulation allowance of 30% each floor. So total of 12,000 square meters. And then moving on to our movie theaters, we have the spaces of the box office or the ticket booth used by the booth attendee with approximate area of 6.44 square meters. Next is the Cinema 1 used by the building users and maintenance personnel with approximate area of 433.80 square meters with 30% circular allowance. The foyer used by the building users with approximate area of 433.50 square meters with 50% circulation allowance. The stage used by the artists with approximate area of 16.9 square meters with 30% circulation allowance. For the sitting area used by the building users, we come up with approximate area of 373.50 square meters with 15% circulation allowance. And for both male and female toilet, we have the approximate area of 9.60 square meters with 15% circulation allowance. And lastly, the toilet for PWD with approximate area of 7.8% with the 30% allowance circulation. Total of 269.9 square meters.
Through assessing the collected facts, we have arisen with the following statement of the problem. So first, the study is to determine the design for adaptation of buildings to its environment in order to promote ecological balance. So dito pumapasok yung mga materials na gagamitin para ma-maintain ang quality at function given the weather and geological condition ng vicinity. So kasama na rin dito ang appropriate planning with the application of ecological design features. So second is about the competition. Knowing that no valley exists near the vicinity and the fact that it is very well known. So it is a challenge for us para mapantayan or mahigitan pa kung ano yung mga ino-offer ni No Valley. So what possible unique features does the building should have para ma-attract ang mga users?
We move on to the third problem statement, the effect of the chosen site as the heart of barangay government with economic growth regardless of being known as undeveloped community. So we come up with this problem statement because we consider two possible questions of the client. So the first one is how can a undeveloped community boost its economy through commercial surrounding competitors? And the next one is what makes the heart of Silang is still undeveloped up to now? And our problem statement, we come up with the purpose algorithm of the commercial complex of the productivity and efficiency of the occupants as consideration to the consumer behavior. So we have two following questions from the problem statement that can also help can help support our design approach to be functional and with solutions. And these are the first one is what kind of commercial and consumer approach methods should be incorporated to design and zoning plans. The second one is the structure itself will be the maintainer of customer algorithm. And with question number 3 is what kind of architectural approach should be considered to achieve the consumer satisfaction. So with these questions, we can come up with up to a conclusion, be functional and with solutions that can help our client boost its investments in our commercial complex. And if we consider the four problem statements, come up with a commercial complex that will not just satisfy the client but also the consumers that will use the commercial complex